Republicans push to win a majority in the House, and it hangs in the balance this morning as key battleground states continue to tally results. And many Democrats are breathing a small sigh of relief as they notch crucial wins in several key races. So joining me now to provide some analysis of where things are right now are CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist Antjuan Seawright and Joe Watkins, a former aide to President George H.W. Bush and host of Joe Watkins' State of Independence. Gentlemen, great seeing you. All right, listen, Joe, I'm going to start with you. CBS News is estimating the battle for control of the House is leaning Republican, but they only have sort of modest gains or made modest gains overnight, the Republicans. How are things feeling right now within the GOP party? How would you assess what we've seen so far?
Well, many were hoping for a tsunami, a Republican or red tsunami. It's been more like a small red wave, but that's still good news. It means that the Republicans control the House. It becomes more difficult, of course, for President Biden's agenda to have traction. So Republicans controlling the House is certainly a big win for Republicans, even if it's not with the numbers that Republicans had hoped for.
Antjuan, a senior White House official spoke with CBS News earlier on the possibility of holding the House, to which that person said it's a long shot, but there's still a chance, not completely dead. What happens, though, if Democrats do lose the House? If they don't maintain the House, how significant of a power shift in Washington could this be?
Well, Anne-Marie, for months, all we heard was this red wave, this application of conventional wisdom. What we saw last night in the results, when people talked about a red wave, it was a red sprinkle. Why? Because people came out in droves, rejecting this right-wing mega insurrection supporting, election deny extreme Republican Party. That was independents, Republicans, and Democrats. And I think what the results in the House of Representatives show, although Republicans have an opportunity to have the majority, I think what the results are going to ultimately show, they cannot govern to the extreme because the country rejected that. What we saw last night was the midterms was supposed to be, according to many who live inside the D.C. bubble, a referendum on Joe Biden. What it turned out to be was a referendum on the right-wing extreme that have hijacked the Republican Party. So they cannot govern to the extreme, because we all know there's a different type of turnout in a presidential election than it is in a midterm election, and that usually favors those of us on our side of the aisle, in particular the seats that may go the Republican way.
So, Joe, to what Antjuan is suggesting, former President Trump backed a handful of candidates, and you can't really say across the board whether it was good or bad. J.D. Vance obviously won, but some other candidates that he backed, particularly the ones in Pennsylvania, did not win at all. What does this say about the Republican Party, and what does this mean for Donald Trump's big announcement that's coming next week?
Well, I don't think it'll hamper President Trump's big announcement that's expected in the next week or so. I think that he still knows that he has a lot of support within the Republican Party, so he's not going to be moved with regards to that. But clearly, a lot of the candidates who were endorsed did not win. A number of them did not win. Some of them did, though. There was certainly strength. We just talked last week here on CBS about Iowa, and clearly whether or not President Trump's visit to Iowa would help those candidates. And clearly the governor won, and it looks like the Senate seat was retained by Grassley. So this certainly shows his strength in areas where he's already popular.
Looking at the Georgia Senate race, which we're not going to know, it looks like we're not going to know the outcome at least until next month. The winner is still looking too close to call. It's probably going to go to a runoff. I'm going to ask both of you, and I'll start with you, Antjuan. What do you think that Governor Warnock needs to do to win in December? And then I'll ask you the same question, Joe.
Well, I think Reverend Warnock just has to recreate what he's already done, and that's drive turnout among voters of color, in particular black voters who once again showed up because we knew our lives were on the line all across this country. Whether it's in Georgia, we showed up handsomely. We elected our first black governor in Maryland. We made history in Massachusetts. All these races that Democrats won where there was no expectation for us to win or do well, it's because the voters of color showed up. And this idea of an independent voter and the independent thinker showed up in such a way that no one expected, and that's why you saw the results you saw last night in Georgia and all across the country.
Joe, do you think it's going to be tougher for Herschel Walker now? Because, he's going to be on the ballot by himself. he doesn't have the benefit of being bolstered by a successful Republican governor. So do you think it's going to be more of a challenge?
No, not really at all. I think at the end of the day, certainly Republicans in Georgia will realize how high the stakes are. And so turnout's going to matter. It always matters for candidates running for office. Turnout matters. It's not just the polling day that you get, but it's the number of people who support you actually show up to vote on Election Day. So if there's a runoff in early December, look for turnout among Republicans to tell you the story of Herschel Walker.
All right. Well, we'll be here. Maybe we'll have you gentlemen back on. Antjuan Seawright, Joe Watkins, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.